Okay, class, so this is your homework video for tonight, and what you're going to do is you're going to go through and watch the whole thing, and at the end it's going to lead you to a Google Sheet that you will need to go to. But before we get into that, this past week we have been learning about biographies and how that is a story about a person's life, and it's a true story, so that means it's nonfiction. And so with that, we're going to start jumping into historical figures, and we're going to be using biographies to learn more about these historical figures. Now, with these historical figures that we'll be learning about this week, it's important to remember that they're all from diverse cultures, but they've still all had such a huge impact on the world that we live in today. So we're going to jump right in and start learning about these historical figures. I'm going to give you a couple facts about each one, and then tomorrow it's all on you, and you're going to dig in even deeper on all these historical figures and learn even more about them. So our first historical figure is Abraham Lincoln, and he was the 16th president of the United States, and he led our country during the Civil War, and he fought for the freedom of the slaves. Our next historical figure is Thomas Jefferson, who was the 3rd president of the U.S., and he was one of our founding fathers, and he also wrote the Declaration of Independence. Next, we have Thurgood Marshall, who was a lawyer and a Supreme Court justice, and he was also the first African American to become a Supreme Court justice. Next, we have Martin Luther King Jr., and he was also a civil rights leader, and he is best known for his I Have a Dream speech. Next, we have Sacagawea, who was a Shoshone tribal woman, and she was a guide and interpreter for Lewis and Clark. Next, we have Daniel Boone, who was a pioneer and explorer, and he settled the frontier in Kentucky. Next, we have Michael Jordan, who was one of the best basketball players of all times. And lastly, we have Jackie Robinson, who was our first African-American baseball player to play in the major league. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this Google spreadsheet, which I've also posted the link to this in the discussion board, and it is titled Before Lesson. You're going to go to that, and I've shared it with all of you, so it's easy to access, and you're going to sign up for one of these historical figures. Now, this is a first come, first serve kind of thing, so I highly recommend that right after this video, you go in and do it so you get the one that you want. And then tomorrow, we're going to dig deeper into all of your historical figures, and you're going to read a biography on each of them. Now, it'd be good if you do some of that research tonight, because I'm only going to give you about 7 to 10 minutes during class to do your research. So if you do your research tonight, then that's less that you have to do tomorrow, and we can jump straight into the fun stuff. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do your research before then. There may even be a little treat if you do the research before then. So that is your homework video for tonight, and I hope to see all of your research that you have done first thing tomorrow so we can jump into the fun stuff. All right, I'll see you guys then.